We live in a world where the negative gets way more energy. And so you start to get conditioned like that.
Right. So you're saying it does go hand to hand.
Yeah, because when you do positive stuff, you're not getting reinforced. Like, it's not being reinforced when you're 7, 8, 9 years old. You bring home a good report card, let's just keep it 100, bro. It ain't no major celebration, bro. Like, it ain't no major focus when you bring that A home. It's like, oh man, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. If you get home, you bring home them D's, bro. It was a lot of energy going into that. There's a lot of focus.
Today's show is brought to you by Organifi. Organifi is an organic superfood supplement line that makes quality, trusted nutrition convenient and accessible. Their most popular product, the green juice, solves the problem of juicing greens on the go. We all know that we need to get those fruits and greens and vegetables and all that in our diets, guys, and here's a quick and easy way to get it. You just add water, drink, and let your body soak up the benefits. Visit Organifi.com to learn more about an exciting offer for you, our podcast listeners. That's Organifi, Organifi.com.
I wake up every single day. I am who I say I am. And I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Wesley Phillips.
What it do? What up, y'all? How y'all feeling?
And Dr. Douglas Thomas, what's going on?
Oh, man, it's, everybody love the sun, but can you stand the ice? This we know for sure.
Again, it look a lot like Christmas. Again.
I'm talking about
sir.
Again. Yeah.
So I'm guessing you're in Michigan then. That's what it sounds like.
I'm talking about ice, bro. It's looking like a winter escapade out here. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what are you doing there then? That's what I want to know. I talked to you yesterday. You were in West Palm. Why'd you leave?
But here, you know what? Here's the deal. Yeah, bro. It's a long story, but we got something. Maybe 1 year I'll be able to talk about it, but we got something we got to do as a family in a couple of days. So my wife couldn't fly to West Palm and then have to fly again. So, so it's one of those things where she's like, yo, I can't fly, west and then fly east. And so it's like, all right, me and Jay will do this and then we'll do our family thing, this week. So yeah, that's what happened. I was hurt because I was actually supposed to speak for 2 days and I had to tell the juniors, I'm not going to be able to see you guys. I did the seniors yesterday, the basketball team, and then I worked with some teachers. But TJ flew in today and took my spot. So hopefully TJ did his thing.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure he did. T.O. was gonna hold it down. Cool, man. What else happened? What else, Carl? Catch me up. What's going down?
Oh man, just over here laying it down. The ETA is laying on me more and more work. This is my silent rebellion. I got like 3 or 4 more new responsibilities. So people are like, yo, Carl, I've been hearing you. The ETA work could be the death, y'all. But other than that, we good.
Oh,
we're real good over here.
It's a small family company. Okay, we got everybody got to do a little something.
All the responsibilities trickle down.
Yeah, So last time we talked to you, you were getting ready to speak to the Crimson Tide, and then we saw them boys get hammered. Somebody texted me and said, Somebody texted me and said Tony Robbins must have been talking to Clemson.
No question.
It seemed like they had a little bit more bite. But anyway, I called you to make fun of you, because that's my job as your right hand, to be like, yo, what happened to your boys? And you was like, before I could even get it out, you was like, see, they ain't even let me speak. I was like,
There it is. Nope. There it is.
So what? Without throwing anybody under the bus, I'm guessing they just ran out of time, or you know what I mean?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all know how it is. I come to the game. I'm just making the assumption. As a matter of fact, I'm not even making an assumption. The lady at the ticket counter was like, "Praise God, E. You started the year with us. You ended the year with us." So I'm just making the assumption, since I was privileged to come to the game, that I was going, that I was going to get some shine.
Yeah, you thought you came to work.
Maybe Coach didn't know I was there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe Coach didn't know I was in the building. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's what it is. But I will say this, this is not the first time this has happened to me. Y'all know that I worked with Loyola last year. I put in work. Coach was nice enough to let me be a part of the season, and we put in the work. Then we did the Elite Eight. I spoke to him before the Elite Eight. I remember some people were saying, yo, E, that message you did, like it wasn't like rah-rah. And I was like, I'm just gonna be real with you. I know they didn't need the rah-rah. Then boom, we made it to the Final Four, but they never call your boy to the Final Four. I never got the ticket to the Final Four. And all I'm saying is, I'm not saying they would have won it had I been there or not. I am saying this though.
That's what I'll say. You can't say it, I can't. You know what I'm saying?
I am gonna say this though. Don't switch up what worked, is what I'm saying. Don't switch up what worked. And I think, to make a point out of this, like I really believe this is a challenge. I'm not gonna say Loyola or Alabama. I'm not gonna say that this is a problem for them specifically. But for those of you who are listening on the phone, we really do get into a routine, and we really do find, like our groove, our secret to success, and we start working those things. And then what ended up happening is, as we get closer to our goals, for real, sometimes we get a little bit more lax, we get complacent, and the things that got us there, we start tripping. I'm gonna be honest, every time, I had this crazy relationship with working out. The older I get, the more I have to do it. But it's funny, I always remember when I get to a point where it's like, all right, I got to get back down now. And I start grinding and get back to where I need to be. I always remember, it's that one chicken dinner. It's that first chicken dinner. I had a chicken dinner in, let's say, a month and a half while I was working out. And, I'm like, I'm good. And I'm going to be real. That one chicken dinner didn't necessarily put the weight back on me, but it was that one chicken dinner that went away from the routine that I had. Like, I'm not really eating like that. And then I'll eat like that one time, maybe not eating the rest of that week, but then I'm like, I could do it one more time because it didn't hurt me. And before you know it, I'm not doing the things I did, you know what I'm saying, to get there. I'm just being real. Like, and I think a lot of us, for real, there are certain things that we do and we get into a rhythm, we get into this sweet routine, and there's some things that we know is working, but then the closer we get to our goal, that's when we start just chilling a little bit.
Bro, I told myself I had to go back home, and I was doing good. I had my Jamaica body prepped. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know why I waited till January to get ready for February. You know what I'm saying? But don't judge me on that. But I had everything ready to go, bro, and I was like, yo, you headed back to the crib, chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, now y'all know I'm from Lansing, born and raised. If you've never been to Lansing, Michigan, we have two of the best food places you ever had in your life. One is called Crack Chicken, and yes, it's literally called Crack Chicken. The sign outside says Crack Chicken, and it is the best fried chicken you have ever had in your life. Bar none. I'm talking about like bar none. Like it is celebrities. Like we only have celebrities come, but when they come, they go. And then we also had Sir Pizza, okay? And now, mind you, I grew up in Lansing, so, you know what I'm saying? Like a moth to a flame. I get back, and I'm like, nope, I'm keeping the Jamaica body. Bro, I promise you, I wasn't off the plane no more than 2 hours before I hit a whole Sir Pizza. I'm like, wow. Then the next day, boom, I'm like, yo, I hit the crack chicken. I'm like, wow, God, I had to restart January. You know what I'm saying? Right. I popped another bottle of champagne on the
New
10th.
Year's resolution.
You know well, let's try this again.
Let all acquaintance be forgot. Yeah, no question.
Man, I played the Frank Sinatra all over and watched the ball drop again, bro.
All over again.
We restarted, and we back underway. So let me check on y'all Jamaica bodies, though. I sound like each Jamaica body might be looking like mine.
Oh, bro, yours probably look way sweeter than mine. I never even started Jamaica. I didn't even know. Bro, let me tell you something. And we're going to have to talk about this, at a conference. I think I was talking to Rochelle, and I said, Rochelle, I'm just going to be real with you, Rochelle. I've come to realize that there's a reason why it's called the triple-double, right? I used to always wonder, like, quadruple-double. You know what I'm saying? Why they don't have the triple-double is very difficult to attain. And once you get the triple-double, I think that's it. I don't think you go nowhere else. So I was just telling Rochelle, I was like, yo, I'm not against, a beach body, but I'm making money right now. My marriage is on an all-time high right now.
I'm against the work it take to get a beach body. I'm all in favor of the body.
Of the beach
I
body.
just told her.
I'm 100% in.
Yeah, I told Rochelle, I said, Rochelle, here's the problem. I already got a triple-double. I can't get a quadruple boy. I got a triple-double right
and
now.
And we're talking about your chin. You know what I'm saying?
You feel me? You feel me? So for me, man, it's just like, it's one or the other. A lot of dudes might have a sweet six-pack, but where I'm at in my marriage, I take
broke.
this.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I take this all day, bro. I take the
Didi
marriage.
would rather have the millions in her bank account.
Oh, bro, all day
than
with
to have
a
a sweet six-pack.
Yeah. So I'm just like, look, hey, I'm going to work hard to try to at least keep her where I'm at. I'm going to try to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to try to take it too much further than this.
Maintain.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I take it past this, she might start having some problems. Yeah, so
every time I get on the scale a month later, I'm like, ooh, it's a tie. You know what I'm saying? We didn't win, we didn't lose.
So I didn't even start Jamaica. Hey, and here's the reality. Some dudes going to have to wait till they get to Jamaica to get where I am in my marriage. So I got Jamaica right now.
I keep thinking about Jamaica. I'm like, sure, I'm going to put in all this work and then go to this all-inclusive.
And eat up everything.
Eat like a fat rat and be right back. So what am I really trying to do in Jamaica? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? I'm just trying to get it ready for Jamaica.
Right, you're just trying to create space so that when you go out there and you blow it up, that you're right back to where you at now. That's all.
Let me tell you something. The only thing that's going to section me out is a divorce. I hate to say it. But if I got to get back and put this body on the open market, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm feeling like I could get serious. You know what I'm saying? If I had to go back up to be judged again, that's when I feel like I could really six-pack y'all out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right now, it's not necessary.
It's hard to do when you're in love, baby. You know what I'm saying?
So
not when you laying in the bed talking about you want some more pizza. You like, absolutely.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, see, you got to twist it. It's not when you in love. It's when they in love with you as you are. That's
no doubt. Yeah, every time my girl start dogging me out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, ugh, you look disgusting. You know what I'm saying? I told you.
So the trade-off is to put the energy into the relationship so you'll never have to worry about the trade-off of going and having to work out.
I don't know. Or either you might be narcissistic and you just need to see yourself in the mirror with a six-pack. That's what it is. I'll take it. I'm not mad at my man. Bro. Yeah, I'm not mad at my man.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Here's what we'll do. We'll give a Jamaica body update on every podcast leading up to.
Please do that, see.
Every podcast leading up to when we go to Jamaica.
That's the only thing that's going to help me. Please do that.
Well, I'm trying to have some accountability since it don't look like divorce is in none of our futures, thank God.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? Because I promise you, if Candace left me, bruh, I'm talking about Mr. Olympia. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, oh my goodness, what's he doing? Yep, that's that divorce. Hey, somebody told me the other day.
Here's the reality, see. If I got a divorce.
Oh, you look like you doing, it was Jada. I said, she said, oh, it looked like you sticking to that diet. I said, this the all-black diet. And she thought I was talking about like some type of like juice and things. Something. She was like, all-black diet. I was like, yeah, it's just when you wear all-black clothes. It just makes you look a little, you know what I'm saying? Make you look a little slimmer. So I'm on that all-black diet. If you'd like to join me, just get you a black hoodie, some black sweats, and people going to be like, oh, you look straight.
Try to get the black jeans, though. The sweats could get you in trouble.
Oh, well, you know the kids now, they doing the skinny sweats. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, that's right.
It's the nice little fitted sweats that, you know what I mean? They hug your calves a little bit and they make it look like you got a little definition. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotta say this though.
You're welcome.
So that people can understand what we're saying.
In their mid-30s struggling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotta say this though, see, so people can understand what we're saying is the reason why we're talking about the exercise and the way we're saying it is because when you're happily married, you got to put in so many hours that if we weren't married, we would have an extra 10 hours a day to work out. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be in a healthy relationship and you got to put in all these hours and have an extra 2 hours. I'll be looking at Keon. I'm like, Keon look like he in the gym at least 4 hours.
I'm talking about at least 6 hours.
At least 4 hours.
That's how you got to do it. If you want to actually do it like that, you got to make it your hobby, your passion, and you got to get paid off of it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever paid me for hitting the gym, so I think that's why I'm Also lacking the motivation is I got to pay a membership. Like I'm paying to be there.
It's a straight liability.
It's a liability altogether. All right, so the Jamaica body updates, the dad bods. You know what I'm saying? All of that's going to be ready. Yeah, and Amal will be the only one with a tank top on, okay? and all the rest of us will be in white tees and sweaters. You know what I'm saying? Amal
90
will be
degrees.
the only one with the guns out. You know what I'm saying? And maybe Josh doing something over there we don't know about, but I don't think so. Josh probably going to be right there with us. All right, cool. So on a more serious note, I haven't talked about this on the podcast yet, but it was something that, obviously was on my heart and you guys knew about. We were praying about. My father was diagnosed with prostate cancer maybe a year and a half ago, maybe. But the way they do prostate cancer is they kind of monitor your levels. And so they were monitoring my pop's levels and they were like low enough to where they didn't have to do anything. And I was like, of course, at the time, like, yo, you got cancer, like remove it, right? But there's like a system or a process they go about doing it. Anyway, long story short, his levels had got higher than they wanted them to get. And so they had to remove the prostate. So that's why I was up in Michigan the other day. And I went up there, honestly not knowing what to expect just in terms of the recovery from the surgery and all of that. But I am, man, super pleased to announce, as you all know, but just sharing it with, the podcast fam. Pops is doing really well. Came out of surgery. They got it out. The doctor was pretty confident they got it all removed. And he is up, doing well, walking, talking. I mean, like literally like a new man. I know you came by and saw him, healthy, feeling good, man. And of course, anytime that happens, it's a serious thing. It's no joke. So, got to be careful with the recovery and make sure you're doing all the right things. Of course, I had him on the phone with Sean. So shout out to Sean for, talking Pops through, how to make sure it don't come back and, the rest of that stuff. But Pops is doing great. Please, keep the prayers rolling and all of that, man. So just want to give a big shout out to my Pops, man, who is our day one supporter.
Number one fan.
Love you, man. Appreciate you and everything you do. And just wanted to let you know. I wasn't sure. I told Pops, I was like, I wasn't even sure if you wanted me to say anything on the podcast. And he was like, man, I'm an open book. So we take our health very seriously on this podcast. We talk about it and, again, try to share all the things that we're going through just so y'all know we human. You know what I mean? Like, we got the same issues as anybody else. We dealing with the same things. We got the same problems and issues as everybody else. So just keeping y'all up to speed on that. Now, changing directions a little bit, I got a picture randomly the other day and I was like, okay, like, who is this? He sent me a pic of him and some dude. And I was like, man, I'm like, yo, who is that? And I'll kind of let you take it from there. But
he thought it was Eddie George.
That moment because that was
who you thought it was? See, you thought it was Eddie George. Eddie George. And I looked back at the picture, I was like, yeah, that kind of dude, like
bald head. I was like, oh, Eddie George. I'm like, I'm pretty sure Eddie was a lot taller than Edo. Eddie was like 6'3".
And this dude had hair on his head. But he did look like Eddie
but
George,
now that don't mean nothing because LeBron and them, they didn't had, they can get you back. I'm thinking about getting back in the game with some 360 waves. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
I'm thinking about making a comeback.
Hey, for sure, bro. Because Dion looking sweet.
Oh, Dion got a whole, no doubt. They doing, bro, they got the man weaves. They got, you could just get a whole like Lego head. You know what I'm saying? They just pop it right on. You pop it on, pop it off. You know what I'm saying? You pop it off when you're ready to go to sleep. I'm about to get me a full, I really want like the little dreads though. I'm gonna see if I can come with that. You know
bro, I'm trying to get that.
Especially for Jamaica.
I'm contemplating it. But 2020, I'm thinking about 2020, bro. I'm really thinking about getting that NWA Jerry curl, 89 Jerry curl. Back. 89.
Bring it back.
I'm serious, bro.
Well, Diddy had one when y'all first got together.
Yeah, Diddy had one. That's why. And I never got one. And it's one of those things that I still, to this day, reflect on. Like, shoot, if I would have had
you missed a stage of your development, E.
Yeah, I do. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, DJ Quick.
With the Michael Jackson jacket.
Yeah, I need a DJ Quick, though. I need a DJ quick. You know what I'm saying? I needed that DJ quick. So we're going to check it out.
I remember my homeboy Daryl and Darnell, shout out to them, they was twins, and they used to have a Jerry curl, and their mom used to make them wear the shower cap sometime to school.
Oh, no doubt.
I was like, that used to be, and Daryl sat right in front of me, so it used to drip on my paper. I used to be like, man, come on, dog.
Yeah. When I drip, you drip, we drip. No questions asked. You know what I'm saying? Man, it was crazy.
What happened, bro? I still didn't get the story. I got the picture and I got the text, but I didn't get the story. So walk us through what happened.
Yeah, well, it was crazy, man, because, I have made an attempt, to reach out to...
Which I think you talked about on the podcast, actually.
Did I?
I think we did talk about it on the podcast before. Yeah.
Oh.
You talked about making a more concerted effort. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I talked about when my uncle died a few years ago that I was definitely going to make, man, I was going to give it the old college try, bro, to have a closer relationship with, my biological side of the family. Now, understand, my grandmother, my aunt, my aunt's kids, like we've always had a very tight relationship. But my cousin Shay, she's the oldest. We've had a great relationship, but her sister and some of my other cousins, I'll be honest, I didn't even really see, because I would see my folks when I came through from college. Of course, you're talking about the different little breaks or whatever. So everybody doing their thing. But I've got my father has, 3 siblings outside of me. And my sister, we kind of established a relationship when me and my father started, maybe when I was 30. So me and my sister, probably about 31, 32, we kind of got started. But my brothers, I never really, we never really had, much of a relationship, And again, it wasn't like I was upset with them or anything. It's just, proximity. I didn't grow up with my biological father. So I wasn't like necessarily at his house. I wasn't, doing birthdays and, Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff like that over his house. So, I don't know them, but as I got older and my relationship with my father started growing, man, come on, you go to all these church events, camp meetings, and you listen to all these different messages, the onion starts to peel back and you start saying, okay, there's layers to this. And so I remember reaching out to Randall, who I thought was the youngest, but isn't. My sister is 9 months younger than me, and he's probably a year and some change younger than me, maybe 2 years. And I reached out to him a long time ago. Some kind of way I found out he was in Phoenix, and it didn't work out. We talked on the phone. I was really embarrassed, because he called me a few years ago and was just like, yo, bruh, I'm into, like sales. And so he was like, yo, I watch your videos. And I was embarrassed because I was like, wow, how is it that this is a relative and you have to be inspired by videos? And I was like, you got to do better. You got to do better. So I reached out to him. It didn't work out. I was in Phoenix. Then I had Elijah send him a birthday card. One year I just felt, the spirit telling me, get him a birthday card. So I had Elijah, and Elijah was like, yo, whatever address you gave me, that ain't real. And so come to find out, it was kind of like maybe he had a P.O. box or something, and he wasn't using his physical address. And so I was pretty much like, oh, okay, I tried. And I'm gonna be real, like I wasn't even, just want y'all to know if you're listening, because some people, you like whatever your experience is, you want other people's experience to be that. And I'm just being real, mine wasn't anger or anything. I don't know him. Like we had never really met. We met one time, but that was when I was 25 years old at my grandma's house for the holidays. And even though I met him, we didn't really get an opportunity to talk because I was just really trying to meet my father. And so when I saw I had other siblings outside of little Juro who I knew about, I was pretty much like, yo, Brown got time for this. Like, I can't believe this. Like, my man got kids. Like, I'm good on that. So I saw him. We took a pic together, but we never had, they just was like, that's your brother. We never really talked or anything. So for me, when I reached out and he didn't reach back, or he reached back, but it wasn't really like physically when it was time for us to meet, he wasn't there. I was like, oh, okay, yo, I'm good. I tried a couple times. And I want to talk about that. Let me finish this up and I want y'all to chime in on like, when is, you know what I'm saying? Like, when is it enough in life? Like, how many tries do you do when you say I quit, right? So for me, it was about 2 or 3. And I just was like, oh, okay, maybe, because we didn't grow up together, maybe it's just not gonna happen. Maybe, what I'm saying, it just is what it is. And so I was just in Phoenix for a gig, and somehow it's crazy, his cousin is actually from Chicago as well and is a member of this organization, like really a high-performing salesperson. And so he texted me and was like, yo, my cousin told me, like, this is his cousin, told me that you coming to town and I want to link up. I was like, bruh, no questions asked. Like, just meet me at the conference, And so I get to the conference the day of, the organizer wanted me to do breakfast with him. So I'm sitting down doing breakfast and my man just asked me out of the blue, how was the hug? And I was like, the what? He's like, how was the hug? I was like, what hug? He's like, between you and your brother. I was like, I ain't seen my brother yet. Like, I told him to meet me today. He was like, oh, he came up here yesterday. But when he went up there yesterday, he must have went up there to see his cousin, And so my man thought me and him had connected. And I'm gonna be real, y'all. It's a crazy feeling. I'm talking to my man. I'm giving him about 70% of my attention because I don't want my brother to come in and I miss the moment. First of all, I don't really know what he looks like, to be honest. I told y'all, I saw him one time when he was 25, and it wasn't like we had cell phones, so it was like a Polaroid picture. So I don't even know where that picture is, so I didn't know what he looked like. I was looking to see, like, maybe my dad, like, okay, maybe he'll look like him. I didn't know. So every black male that come in the room, I'm looking like, is that him? Is that him? And so he was like, no, that's not him. I was like, is that him? He's like, no, that ain't him. And I'm just like tripping, like almost like a kid, open up his gifts for Christmas. It's like, yo, I don't know what he looks like, but I don't want to mess up the moment. And it just so happened Isaiah, and he's gonna kill me, but there's another young man that it was with Isaiah. He was doing the actual videography. So Isaiah wasn't doing it, but Isaiah brought him. And why did my brother walk in? And he happened to be there with the camera, and he actually caught the whole thing on camera, which is odd because I don't always have a camera person. But I called Isaiah out the blue and was like, Isaiah, you live in Phoenix, or at least Arizona. Can you come? And he's like, yeah, I got you. And so my man took pictures the whole nine. And so I saw my brother embrace him, and he did. He reminded me, of my father.
So how did you know it was him? He came up and just gave you that look?
Yeah, yup. It was weird, but it was definitely that for the first time. Like, it was that I'm looking for something, look. You know what I'm saying? Like the tourist boy.
Yeah.
You in New York, like
that's
looking around.
Too,
like
he obviously know who you are quick.
Right.
So you got to do it to everybody like, bruh, no, bro.
Right.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? So we embraced. It was a weird embrace though, because it wasn't, see, like, you know how, like, let's say you were close to somebody when you were younger and you hadn't seen them in years, and it's that, oh man, well, it was just weird. And I'll be honest, you talk about your father early and just us being human. It was a real human moment for me because I was like, I felt a little anxiety, and I was trying to, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to tell myself almost that I didn't feel anxiety, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It was weird, and I was telling myself I didn't have any anxiety because I didn't want to mess up the moment with any anxiety, So I didn't want to, how sometimes people are anxious or something and they like mess everything up because they awkward. And I was like, yo, E, calm down. You know what I'm saying? Relax. Even though I know you've never seen it before, like, you don't have to worry about messing up. Because again, too, y'all, I'm the oldest. So I'm like a big bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's different when you're younger and I'm E.T. the hip hop preacher. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to make sure, like, as a brother, I make you feel like, I make you feel good, like not awkward or whatever. So I was like, E, how you gonna help the moment if you sitting here anxious? Like, relax, calm down. So he didn't get there for maybe about 15, 20. That really gave me a moment to really like calm down and not worry about, well, what's the moment gonna be like? You know what I'm saying? Like, just like relax. It's gonna be what you make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you good. So I saw him, we embraced. It wasn't long because they was actually micing me up to get ready to speak. So it wasn't a long, the embrace was good, but I'm saying we didn't really get to talk afterwards. Right. It was just like, yo, what's going on? How you doing? Whatever. But the first thing that came to my mind that I wanted to ask the audience, and of course, when I say ask, I mean, you guys, I want y'all to think about this, but maybe seeing, Carl, you can help me. But I was kind of thinking to myself like, yo, at what point do you do something, you try something, and then you give up on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if y'all got an answer to that, but just think about something in your life that you tried a couple times and it didn't work, and you were you emotionally detach yourself from it, like not negatively, but you were kind of like, okay, well, this ain't gonna happen. Let me stop. You know what I'm saying? But then you still kept your heart open, because apparently me and his heart must have stayed open because God gave us another chance, last week. So for you guys, what would you say to those who are listening who are like, okay, man, I don't want to keep trying, do this thing over and over. I already put enough energy in it, and it just didn't seem to work out.
Yeah, go for it, Carl.
I was just gonna say, like, I always tell people, and we talked about this, E, when you first reconnected with your dad, it's hard, obviously, to keep trying something that could potentially just never work. You never get anything out of it. But I just what I'd advise people is, man, just think of the other side of it. Like, is it worth it to make that connection? You know what I mean? Like, what could it be? And I'm not saying, like, you just be relentless. Like, take a break. Take 6 months if it's something that's just getting you frustrated. But I'd say, like, find whatever it is within you to regroup, because, man, if you could reconnect, you know what I mean, and things do go well, like, what that would completely be worth it for me, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think you can look at this, it's so, like, as you're talking, E, I'm just listening to the question. I'm like, wow, which area of life you talking about? You know what I mean? Because you can talk about like, relationships with family, romantic relationships, entrepreneurship, your business, your job, your promotion. Like, I think we all have those moments. And so, for instance, if you look at, us with ETA, like, at what point could we have said, all right, this ain't working? Year 1, year 2, year 3, 4, you know what I'm saying? Like, at some point. And so you always hear the old adage, delayed doesn't mean denied, but when does denied mean denied?
Yeah, when does it mean denied?
And I think, here's the thing. I think every circumstance is different. Like, I really do. If you, and I also think there's a bit of you that has to be, now this is a swear word because I don't want to be, negative Nancy or shooting down nobody's dreams, but at some point you have to be realistic, right? Like, so I told a young man who got frustrated with me, he was at a Division III school and he was the backup guard at the Division III school. And I was telling him, the NBA is not likely. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just being and I know you can work hard and listen, miracles do happen, but you're the backup point guard at Olivet. You feel me? Like, that probably is not going to necessarily be we got cats at Michigan State who starting point guard right now. They rank 5 in the country who not going to the league. You the backup point guard on a Division III team, is probably not going to happen, but you have these dreams and these expectations. And so, forgive me, but I guess it has to be some type of realistic chance that it's going to happen. Now, who am I to judge on what's realistic and what's not, right? Because, it's so funny, like with Toby, right? Like, Toby is, obviously blowing up, right? And everybody wants a piece of him. And he's, Toby is, would you say Toby is a little bit like me, maybe? Just like, in terms of that, like, maybe guerrilla alpha, like, he not really concerned with a whole lot of opinions of what other people got to say.
Yeah, I get that.
So Toby kind of reminds me of a younger version of myself. Now, I'd like to think I've grown some, but here goes the crazy thing. Like, people have called me and been like, well, he wants to do it like this, and this is not the way he's supposed to do it, and, what if he gets it wrong, and da-da-da. And I was like, what's crazy? I'm like, everybody calls me because I'm, obviously like Toby, mentor, big brother, so they know he'll listen to me. And I say, you know what? I'm hesitant to like bulldog Toby into making a decision that I think is good for him, because at the end of the day, we didn't listen to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody told us this is the dumbest thing in the world. Y'all leaving a major university. You know what I mean? Y'all leaving a 401k, health benefit. What are you doing? Have you lost your mind? And then you're doing YouTube. Okay, it's not working. Y'all doing videos. It's not working. Quit. What are y'all doing? Like, the odds of us making it is almost similar to my man being the D3 point guard and making millions of dollars. Like, it just doesn't happen like that. And so if somebody came to me right now and was like, yo, I'm thinking about dropping out of school and doing YouTube, and now it's far more realistic these days than YouTube had just started. But if somebody say, yo, I'm about to drop out of school, I was thinking about becoming a physician, but actually I want to do skits on YouTube and blow up. The average, you gonna tell them that's a dumb idea. And so I think, to answer your question, again, I'll take the long way back home of saying, I think each situation is different. But to me, that's why it goes back to, here it goes, first time in 2019, self-assess. Like, is there a realistic shot that this could be done? And do you have any indicators, right? So my indicators for our success, even when people used to say, yo, y'all are dumb, is when we finally would go speak somewhere, when we finally would go talk to teachers, when we finally would go talk to schools, and E would be in there waxing deep and going hard, I saw the reaction of the people. I saw people in tears. I saw people come up and say, yo, that changed my life. Now, it was a very small sample size, but I saw glimpses that, hey, what you guys are doing, it does work. Now, it may not work on the level that we want it to work eventually, but we know for sure this is a good product, and I have a good sample size as to why. And not just like my family. It wasn't like my mom was like, oh, y'all go, baby, go. It was like, yo, we were going into random schools, random, places, and people were like, yo, that was the best speech I ever heard in my life. I've never been so motivated in my life. You changed my life. Can we get your card? Can we get your number? Can you come back? So there were realistic indicators that while what we were doing was still a long ways off, and maybe a shot in the dark, there were some realistic indicators that said, hey, this train is moving forward. And so I think each person in each situation has to see, is there some realistic indicators that this thing is moving forward? If you're in a relationship and it's an abusive relationship, an emotional or physically abusive relationship, and it's been 3 years and you went to counseling and y'all tried this and you tried that and you tried this and you tried that, and there's no indicators that it's going anywhere, it may be time to quit it. Right? And you say, oh, but it could be that one shot that he changes, she changes. I don't know. Are there any realistic indicators that the ship has turned around? And I think if you're honest with yourself and you have an honest conversation with yourself, you'll be able to say yes or no, one way or the other. So that's the way I try to judge it for myself in every aspect of my life. Are there realistic indicators that this thing is working and going forward? There have been many things that we failed with inside ETA, maybe camps that we tried, events, whatever. And I had to take a realistic look and say, were there any indicators that it was working? Nope. All right, cool. It's done. Don't bring it back up. Well, yeah, there was some indicators. We just need to tweak some things. All right, cool. Let's do it. So I think it's a case-by-case basis, but I think that's why the self-assess comes in so heavily. And that's why I really think that we've had the success we've had, because we've been able to look at ourselves and go, yo, C, that didn't work. That was whack. Yo, E, nah, that ain't it, bruh. And we knew ourselves before we tried to present it to the public, so we never beat our head against a brick wall. Although the progress may have been slow, there was progress.
Here's the other thing I was thinking about. I'm 48. I believe he's 46. A big part of it, and he was talking about my other brother as well, and one of the underlying things that you could kind of, feel, even though it wasn't necessarily spoken to, out loud, was this whole idea of rejection. This whole idea of, like you want to try something, you want to do something. So now I'm not even talking about those people, who are doing something and they going full blast, and it might not even be realistic, but now I'm talking about that group that doesn't even try. That group that is, paralyzed by fear. This whole idea of if I try, and there's like a million reasons not to do it. Like legitimate. Like, okay, this might happen. They might say this. They might do this, and I might feel this way. To you guys, how do you get past that rejection thing? It's like, man, I want to do it, but I feel that if I do it and I get rejected, I'm going to be hurt. What do we say to those people out there that are gifted, could possibly make it to the league, could possibly be a phenomenal speaker, or a phenomenal husband or entrepreneur, But what's holding them back is the fear that it won't work out, type scenario.
Well, as I always say, the alternative is a no anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
That's the crazy thing about fear and rejection is that it's automatic. You start at no. You know what I'm saying? Like you like, I always give the example of like if you dating and like you see a young lady who you like, oh man, she look really nice. Like, but you scared to go talk. I'm like, you already at no. You do understand that. Like you don't have her number now. Like, so by you going and asking her, only one or two things gonna happen. And it's either gonna be no, which you already at, so you shouldn't trip, or she's gonna be like, yeah, cool. And then now you got an opportunity to court a young lady, right? So I think that the fear of rejection thing it's all mental. It is literally all mental. And nobody likes to be rejected. Nobody likes, I think it really, especially in this day and age with social media, like these kids put up a picture and it don't get enough likes and they feel rejection. You know what I'm saying? And so I think when you're doing it for outside validation, I think that's when you can run across that spirit of anxiety or that fear of, I don't want to put it out or I don't want to do it, because you're doing it with the intent of, I wonder what they're going to say. When we do the podcast, we're just generally trying to give out some great information to have a good time. Are there going to be people that hate that, as we've seen in the negative feedback? Absolutely. But hopefully there's going to be some people that like it. But we can't let the people who don't like it paralyze us from doing it, because we weren't doing it for them in the first place. And so I think it's just a mindset of that rejection thing. Again, we talked about it before. I think it's just like literally your mind playing tricks on you and saying, if this happens and it doesn't happen the way I think it is, well, I'm no good or there's something wrong with me. And I think it's just not the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so I go for it, Carl, because I'm not
I was just going to say, hey, I got you. I was just going to say, I think what people miss, and again, a goal is a goal. Like, no, I'm not going to, take away from anybody's goal. But I think what people miss is the growth, the learning that happens in the process. Like, not to be funny, I heard Jamal say at one of the events, Jamal was saying like, yo, as a college athlete, like, and not your typical jock athlete, but a college person, an athlete that gets a degree, like you really went to school and you still did college. Like, dude, whether you make it to the pros or not, do you understand what you just went through? You just did like 2 or 3 different careers in that 4-year span. Like, you were a student and yet you still had to do 2-a-days. So he was like, what Jamal was saying is like, dude, coming out of college, like I learned so much. Even though I didn't make it into the league, get the connection, I was able to be a police officer and still work another job. You see what I'm saying? Like, I still was able to build my whole life outside of my work because I learned this process.
Right, how to do 2 things at once.
At one time. And not knocking people, I'm just saying that's one of the things that people don't focus on. The process is what's deep. The goal is not deep. A goal could change from today to tomorrow. You hit your head today and the goal changed. You know what I'm saying? But the process, there's so much that you learn, there's so much that you get out of it. I'm saying, doggone it, do it anyway. Even if you fail, even if you're a 3rd string and don't make it to the league, do it like you're going to the league anyway. Because, dude, what you learn, the discipline you learn, the stuff that you learn in there. And then the one other thing I'll say, Ed, like this trips me out a little bit. How many times have you heard somebody that, whatever, like went through something is like, man, like for real, I went through this stuff. Like, I kind of look back at my life, man, and I will go through it all over again. How many times have y'all heard that? Like, people say it all the time, right, man? It was tough, but I go through it all again because it helped to make me who I am. So we look back at stuff with this like reverence, like, man, it was tough, I got through it, but yet we look to the future with fear. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, extrapolate it. Like, yo, you look back and you went through some stuff that was hard, that was difficult, but it helped get you here. But you're looking forward to the next thing as like, man, I'm not even sure. Like, yeah, I'm not. No, it's the same process, dude. Whether it works or not, you go through it and you will be able to look back in 5 years and say, man, I'll do it all over again because I learned X, I learned Y, and I know what not to do now. So I'm just saying, if we focus on the process and not necessarily the goal, again, the goal can't come without the process, like bottom line. But if you just focus on the process, see, I think you said it, like, yo, if you go to the gym every day for a year, you will see a result. There's no question about it. If you go and work out every day, you don't have to say, I'm going to, be this size and that, whatever. If you go and focus on the process every single day, you'll get the results. So I'm just saying, like, the fear is real. I'm not knocking it. But to what C said, you're already starting at no. Like, just do it and learn in the process.
Yeah, go for it, E.
Yeah, I think, a couple things came out of this for me. So when C was talking about your thought process, I think the challenge is many of us go in on the negative. And I want to challenge you right now to really reprogram your thinking, and as I was thinking about what C was saying, it was like, here it is, you have an opportunity, of a lifetime, but how do people approach that opportunity? Do you come thinking, he may not do this, he may not do this, he may not do that, this may not happen, this may happen. And I want you to reprogram your mind and say, this is going to happen. Like, I want you to think about all of the great things that will happen, because I'm realizing that's what's pushing you away. It is your thinking of how it's not going to work, and you're putting your whole body in a position to say, don't do it. Like, you're making your body not want to do it because you keep telling yourself all of these negative things are going to happen. And the brain, as Carl always says, is a beautiful thing in that it naturally protects us. So when you tell the brain, man, he ain't going to talk to me, man, he ain't going to want to have a relationship, man, he going to think I'm this, or it's like, yeah, your brain is saying, whoa, if all this going to happen, we probably don't want to do it. Like, don't do it. Whereas if you told your brain, man, this is going to really, man, we're going to hit it off. We're going to have so much in common. We're going to be able to build each other so well. Like, man, we're going to take the rest of our lives, and man, Jalen's going to have his uncle, and man, I'm going to get to see my nephew, and man, I'm going to be able to help my other brother and my brother build a relationship. And man, this thing's just going to be, man, Christmas is going to be next year, going to be, man, I can just see all the positivity. Man, I'm not going to have to watch his videos no more. I'll be able to call him and man, we're going to pray together. You feel what I'm saying? See, like, we don't do that. We come into every situation looking at what's not going to happen. And we don't realize we end up talking ourselves out of it. And we end up creating these barriers and these walls that really don't exist. But they do exist now.
Well, hold on, stay right there, because I really want to address that and figure out, just have a conversation about that. So is it that we are more, our bodies and our spirits, and this is going to sound weird because I don't know how to say it, get more out of the negative than we do out of the positive? You know what I mean? Like the negative has a greater impact than the positive.
Yeah,
so we worry
at least
about
in this
the
society,
you see what I'm saying? Like,
no, I'm saying, at least in this society, and again, I don't want y'all to think I'm a victim or I'm hating, because I'm not. But I look at some of the negative, social media outlets, Carl, and they got millions and millions of hits.
Yeah.
No question.
Millions.
Yeah.
Bro, we just crossing 1 million with all this positivity. And I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, how in the world is that particular social media site getting that many hits?
Well, here's the thing, though, E. I don't even mean like what we're drawn to from the outside. Maybe there is a correlation, but I'm talking about even in our own spirit. Like,
but I believe,
like, reconnecting with your brother is like the good feeling that you're gonna feel from if it does work. Is that gonna outweigh the bad feeling if it don't? And I think most people think the bad feeling if it doesn't would trump the good feeling if it does.
Absolutely.
So they focus more on the negative than the positive.
Yeah.
Somebody write that down. I think I just unlocked the code.
Yeah, but I'm saying so. Yeah, but I'm saying why? See, I think it's because we live in a world where the negative gets way more energy, and so you start to get conditioned like that.
Right. So you're saying it does go hand in hand.
Yeah, because when you do positive stuff, you're not getting reinforced. Like, it's not being reinforced when you're 7, 8, 9 years old. You bring home a good report card. Let's just keep it 100, bro. It ain't no major celebration, bro. Like, it ain't no major focus when you bring that A home. It's like, oh man, I'm proud of you. You got home, hey, I'm proud of you. You get home, you bring home them D's, bro. It was a lot of energy going into that. There's a lot of focus. The volume in which, and I'm just being real, even when something went well, the energy that went into well, and then the energy that went into you ain't do what you're supposed to do, it was just a different energy. And have you ever noticed this? That even
so, is that just human nature though? Like, I guess
I don't know if it's human nature. We made it human nature. I don't know. That's why I said we got to reprogram ourselves.
I came across, I can't answer it directly, but I came across a study. This was a while back. I sound like Sean. That they talked about why people watch TV, why people are drawn to social media, and one of the findings.
You said why people or white people?
Why? Not white people.
White people
You know
watch
what I'm
TV.
White people watch TV more because I love it.
No, but what they were saying is, see, most people are drawn to the negative because it gives you a sense that your life is not that bad. It gives you this sense of relief, like, yo, this is crazy.
I'm
but
actually liking that. Keep talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now we get somewhere, Carl.
It makes sense. Yeah, no, but they were saying like, yo, that's why people are hooked on TV because you watching, all this crazy stuff, and you can go back to your life like, it ain't crazy.
Yeah, you watch an intervention like, at least I ain't on dope.
Yeah, my 600-pound life. Yo, I'm only 350. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So it gives you like this baby sense
I do feel rather in shape when I watch that show.
Yeah, you should feel it.
Is it just me, E?
No,
okay.
It's not. You watch it every night, see?
But I'm not as bad as I thought I was.
So they were saying that,
you know what I'm saying? They ain't got the crane out for me yet.
You think of, what do you call it? Like a soap opera. Like soap operas had like real followings. Like people will watch that joint. I don't know how if people didn't work, but people was watching this during the day because there's so much drama. Who's sleeping with who and all this. Like it's this subconscious thing like, yo, my life ain't that bad. So I think that, that could speak to it like, yo, you're just looking for some reprieve because, again, we faced with life. Like, stuff is happening. C just told you about his dad. Stuff is happening. So, like, the getaway from that, not a good getaway, but a getaway from that is like, yo, my life is not that bad. Let me look at this trifling housewives or wherever to, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got to go through that. So that could be it.
But then it seemed like people more depressed than ever. So that don't make sense either.
But
you know what I'm saying?
He was just
more
saying,
people on anti-anxiety medicine.
Yeah,
and,
but it's a negative
like,
loop, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like that negative feedback loop. So now you filling your head with mess. So when you start to think about something, you're trying to be positive, you just filled yourself with mess. So you don't really have nothing to pull from, if you see what I'm saying.
Right.
So it's the reverse effect almost now.
Yeah. Oh, you got all kind of credit in the negative, and your positive is doggone withdrawn. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, you just, like your positive muscle. So for those of you who are listening, it's like, okay, I'm telling you to start saying what good can come out of it, but no, it's going to be difficult for you just because the positive muscle in you has not been built. And that's why, man, some of y'all need to go on a fast from social media and go on a fast from TV and just a fast from those things that are not necessarily like how you would want to think or how you would want to react. But you're reacting that way now because you are listening and watching that. So I would just say we got to build up that positive muscle, man, that tells us, you know what? You can go into this thing in the positive. You can see the benefits of this. And again, once man, let's talk about that before we end, because I think this could be a real practical way of helping people. You said it a little bit, but let's get deeper, into. Okay, your mom had some questions, both of you. Your mom's had questions about, okay, is this going, this ETA thing going to work? Of course, you talk about with you and Candace and not being able to go to dinner. What were the things you were saying to yourself? Because apparently you weren't saying anything negative because you would have quit ETA. Carl, you would have quit ETA. What were some of the things that you were thinking in your mind or you were saying to yourself that made you not quit and get ETA to the point that it is now?
I think maybe, one of the things was by the time I looked up and really thought about whether there's even an option to quit, we had too much sweat equity in it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, one, I knew E wasn't going to quit. And then two, I was like, yo, I'm not about to let go and see somebody else come up on my blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you get divorced from your spouse and they hit the lottery the next day. You like, wow, I was with this person for that long through all the hard times. And then right before they got ready, you know what I mean? So I think it was one, the sweat equity. So when you put a lot of work in, I think it makes it that much harder to actually quit. And again, like I said earlier, there were some, although maybe small
tangible
signs and hints, there were some tangible things that I looked at and was like, okay, this is working to some extent. And so because I didn't have, like, I'm telling y'all, back then, I said it before, I didn't see people driving Bugattis and living in crazy houses and all that. Like, I didn't know. So my definition of success was, okay, somebody said they're willing to give us a check. It's only $300 from what was the school we went to over on Mount Hope with my man Cabell? I can't remember the name of the school.
Yeah.
But they might have gave us like $300 for the month. But I remember being like, yo, again, that was a win because we were getting paid to do it. So there were signs like that. Now, was it leading to financial freedom at the time? Absolutely not. But it was a start to something where I said, okay, this is working to some extent. We are getting somewhere. And so I think between the sweat equity and the tangible proof that I had, there was no way that I was going to quit and not see it through.
And I don't want to, C, what C said is the 100% one, but I just got to go with like, man, there's something in your gut. Like, for real, you go in that classroom and watch E do his thing, there's something in your gut that's just like, yo, I don't know what is happening right now, but like I feel something. And again, we could be candid, like it's the Holy Spirit or something. It's just like, yo, there's something real going on here. You know what I'm saying? Like you watching people, I'm saying grown people crying. You know what I'm saying? Like teachers come up crying and, you know, this student. And I don't know if you remember, where were we? We were upstate New York, the YMCA up there.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yeah,
we were upstate New York and E spoke. Again, we ain't doing nothing deep yet. Like this little school, we went to a high school and E went off on this young girl. When I say went off, like not what you would think, not the Missouri joint, not St. Louis, but it was this young girl.
Small
that E was like,
there was about 6 of them in there.
It was a little thing. See, you weren't there. It was me and E on this one. And this girl came in and E went off on her like, yo, you know you're a beautiful young lady? Like I'm talking in the middle of the presentation. It wasn't like, like he was just talking to her on the side. It was in the middle of the presentation. And E was like, yo, you beautiful. Like you powerful, man. The things that you about to do. And it was like a 5-minute joint where E went off. Principal came up to us after and was like, yo, like what? Why did you? And he was like, yo, I ain't really got no reason why other than I just felt impressed to speak to her. He was like, man, do y'all know that like her family was like they're the biggest drug lords in the city? Like they were like, he was like, yo, her family shutting the whole city down. Like they're not playing. Like they're like the new mafia in the city. And we were like, what? But you know what I'm saying? So you go into a room and you get these kind of experiences and you see, like I said, people just responded in a way. It's like, yo, there's something here. So for back to my second string guard, like if you're not starting a couple more games the second year or your third year, you know what I'm saying? Not to kill your dreams, like C was saying, but like for real, there was enough things that we were seeing that in our guts, like, yo, it's something here. We know it's gonna take work to get it out, but there's something here, man. Like I can't go back after watching that experience and think like, all right, that was a cool little gig. Let's see what else we could do for money. You know what I'm saying? Like this is way deeper. Like where we were, it was way deeper than money. Like you were seeing people's lives transform I'm talking about in a 5-minute thing. The homegirl was crying, E was hugging her, like transformation in minutes. Like that ain't something that you just walk away from. So yeah, there it is, E.
What about for you, E? You answer the question real quick.
I'll just be real, man. I like what Carl said, I guess, because I was the one doing it. And I was seeing, the spirit move when I would do what I do. It's like people were like, yo, you was in my living room, or, I got chills when I listened to you and I know I need to go home, and change some things. Like I've seen like older Black men and older white men who I know come from like, they baby boomers and they're not really into, change like that. It's like my way or the highway. I would be in a meeting in the NFL, hookup, or I'd be doing a corporate, whatever. And they'd come to me afterwards and be like, I know I didn't say much when you were speaking, but I need to go home and make things right with my wife or with my daughter, you know what I'm saying, or with my son. And so for me, I've just never seen the negative. Like, even though I know negative exists, I don't know how to say it. It's more, it doesn't sit with me, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't like come in my spirit, if you know what I mean. It's more like water off a duck. So when something negative happens, I have the ability in this realm to say, like, yo, we destined to do this. Like, we destined to change the world. On Martin Luther King's birthday, as we sit here on Martin Luther King's birthday and have, record this podcast, I'm like, yo, we got a chance to be what, people who made history like him and Mother Teresa, like people who, like, man, transformed their, like the world that they lived in. Like, we have a chance to do that. So that's way more powerful to me than this person don't like the podcast or this person don't like my style. or this person think I'm too loud and obnoxious. Like, this person ain't feeling the fact that I wear a baseball cap. Like, the work that we do is so massive. It's so gigantic, man. It's so colossal that for me, that other stuff is minuscule, it's light, it's little. And so I just don't let it penetrate my thoughts. I don't let it penetrate my spirit, and I think that gives me the energy that I need to get up every day, and however little it is. And it's so funny, Carl mentioned that. That was literally the first time I had dealt with, an overt racial, situation when we got pulled over by the Ohio police officers on our way to, that was our first gig. We were staying at that was the first time we stayed at the Ritz-Carlton. Very first time. And that was the very first time.
Though, baby.
That was the very first time we stayed there. And that was the first time we had really done corporate work on that level. We did something for Quicken Loans. That's when we had established our relationship with Quicken Loans. And so, yeah, I remember getting pulled over and then going to New York after that experience, like within that week. And I had talked about that and went in on her. So, yeah, I just think the work that we do on C, man, is just, yeah, bro. When you think about the Patriots dynasty, Alabama dynasty, and again, this is no discredit to Clemson and other teams that win, but when you think about the Lakers dynasty, Boston's dynasty, I see us like I've always seen us as, when we kind of came together and started really meshing together and start getting some small wins. Like, I literally saw it as, we could be a dynasty. And to this point, if we were to stop what we're doing, we are a dynasty in this personal transformation space, And I put pictures up the other day. I had a picture of me with a white male, probably in his 70s, and then a 30-year-old black male who was a construction worker at where was that? See, at the mall in whatever city I was in, Phoenix, and then somebody from Apple, and then an athlete saw me, from Notre Dame, and then a football player. And it's like it's a dynasty, man. We have created a dynasty in that it doesn't matter if you're breathing and you need motivation, inspiration, transformation, we're giving it to them. And so for me, man, it's just, I can't stop, won't stop. I know that's your boy saying, but can't stop, won't stop.
Yep. You know what else will help you can't stop, won't stop?
Yeah, that's Diddy, right? That's
Take
Diddy.
a guess.
It's Diddy.
Organifi.
Hey, 92% of Americans have a vitamin deficiency, all right? So start now. It's never too late to boost your energy, cleanse your body, and feel amazing. Change can be tough, but we made it easy, right? We gave you a promo code for Organifi. Listen, you just transform your life in just 30 seconds a day. Scoop, stir, and sip. When you wake up and drink a glass of Organifi green juice, you kickstart your body's process of daily detoxing, producing natural energy and managing stress, all right? Start the day with a smart choice. Your body will reward you. Listen to all these things that's in this green juice. Moringa, all right, contains all the essential amino acids and building blocks needed to repair and grow and maintain cells. Chlorella, a green algae super high in protein, healthy, saturated, polyunsaturated fats. Mint, used for thousands of years and aiding with indigestion, cramps, whitening teeth, and also a sleep aid. Spirulina, a good source of plant protein, is also high in iron and calcium. Beets, all right. Maca green tea, wheatgrass, ashwagandha, turmeric, lemon, coconut water. Where you can get all this in one scoop, all right? This is what we've been on, guys. You guys know we're serious about it. Matter of fact, I know Didi don't really rock with the podcast, but Didi came over the other day with E to check on Pops and was telling me she loves, and I didn't know this was news to me. I didn't even know she was using it. Didi's on the green juice heavy now.
Oh, no question. She popped me one today. She calls it a cocktail. She was like, it's 21 degrees this morning. You and Jalen just got off the road. Y'all need a cocktail. And so she made me a cocktail. It's got like Theraflu, a vitamin C. And then I was like, yo, none of that stuff is green. What's this green stuff in the cocktail?
And I'm on the website. And you know what's crazy? I just went to the website. I was like, let me see what's up, man. Shout out to Sean B. who says, Organic Gold, man, I am an avid listener to the Secret to Success podcast. After hearing them rave about it, I had to grab some. I don't even think my green juice lasted a full month. This product is phenomenal. I'm going to order some more along with the red juice. I love how I feel when I'm on it. I'm now pro Organifi, all right? So shout out to Sean B., who's listening to the podcast and rocking with us, man. Feeling good, feeling great. Hey, y'all, check this out. I want to know whether y'all are more excited. Maybe you don't even know, and I know he's never seen them, but maybe this is a question for Carl. We are getting blessed on the movie front. There is a Bad Boys 3 in the works.
Didn't know that. Yeah.
So Martin and Will got back together, and then also even more crazy.
Your movie, see? Welcome to America.
Coming to America 2.
Are you serious?
They are doing a Coming to America 2. And I was like, yo, heaven must be like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm overjoyed. You giving me Coming to America 2, Bad Boys 3. I'm excited, and I wanted to gauge y'all excitement level and see which one you thought was going to be better.
Well, for me, 2018, I already got mine, and The Incredibles 2. So I already got mine. That was
Carl that was that era when my kids were young.
No doubt. My kids was babies when that first one came out. So y'all know how it is. You watching stuff now that you never watched back in the day. Now that you got Trey, and Jordan. And so when The Incredibles came out, that was something like, just my family and I, had checked that out. But I'm going with Bad Boys because, and y'all gonna kill me for this, I never really watched the full episode of Coming to America. Like, I never really seen the whole thing.
The fact that you called it an episode lets us know. It's a classic movie. It's not a sitcom.
Yeah, I never went there. I never really watched. Well, I saw it on TBN. You know what I'm saying?
It don't count. If you don't watch the curse version, it don't even count. You can't, you know what I'm saying? They had to bleep out every word. Trust me.
Every other word.
You ain't watching it on The Real Boy.
I am unfortunately siding with E on this one. Like, I'm a strong Bad Boys fan. I'm a strong
But
fan.
Has he seen Bad Boys?
Yeah.
1 and 2?
Okay.
At 1 and 2. Now that I did see. Hey, had my boy Will Smith in that Joker and Martin. You know I'm a Marty Marr. That was Martin was the, I'm talking about, Martin might have been the last Mohicans of TV sitcoms.
Silence.
So, I'm talking about silence.
You should be practicing your part.
You feel me?
Just literally 2 nights ago, I showed Tamisha, like I was just clowning, I showed Tamisha the scene when the dude came to take Lil Mama out, and they had that little scene like, oh, you taking, what's my man name? Oh, I forgot his name.
Martin.
When it was taking, no, I'm saying when it was taking his daughter out.
Oh, yeah.
Bad Boys. Yeah, literally like 2 nights ago, I just showed that to Tamisha. We was dying. I'm talking about dying.
Oh, no, that's, bro. You
record
about
Martin, if it
right
ain't
about your
going on, I'll sneak and watch like my favorite one. Like when Martin went on that diet, that's my favorite episode of all times, bro. When he went on that diet, was teaching that aerobics class.
The aerobics joint.
Bro. And then Gina was making them biscuits. I promise you, I could watch that right now and die like it's the first time I've seen it. So I'm looking forward to seeing both. I know where they're going. I could predict where they're going with Bad Boys 3, right? Because we saw 2, and they're gonna be a little older, and Martin ain't gonna want to do nothing. Will's still gonna be cocky, but I'm trying to figure out where they're going when it comes to America too.
Yeah,
I'm not sure like what the storyline is there. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see how they freak that. But I'm excited about both. So we shall see. All right, let's jump into some Ask ET here. Let me get in my bag here. Vaughn in Houston said, ET, I'm sure you've noticed that you've inspired a ton of new motivational speakers, many of whom have a very similar style as you. Does it bother you that people seem to be copying your style?
To be transparent with you guys, I hadn't even thought about it, to be honest with you. I'm so busy, man, making sure that, because we are the newest form of motivational speaking, if you know what I mean. Like, our style is kind of new. in the last, I don't know, the last 30, 40 years, I haven't seen anything like what we have created. And so I've been so, what's the word? See, like I've been so busy making sure that it's not a, fad, like it comes and goes kind of thing. Because you remember when hip hop first came out, everybody was kind of like, it's not real. It's not gonna last. I just been so focused on making sure we produce the kind of content where we're taking serious our craft and how we go about doing what we do is taking serious because it's new. That I hadn't even really thought about. I just want to make sure that if people are inspired by us and they're trying to borrow, our platform and our style, that they have something for the next 40, 50 years, if that makes sense, until whoever else comes out with something new. So yeah, just to be honest, I hadn't really paid attention to it.
Yeah, and I have, and I will be suing everybody who's out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to call Marvin Gaye a state attorney. You know what I'm saying? Because they jamming everybody up. Y'all see that? They got little Ed Sheeran. They call him trying to, you know what I'm saying? You know that song Thinking Out Loud, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, who you need to get, though, is the lawyer for the Super Soakers. That's who you need to get.
Super Soaker?
Yeah, the what's that called? That's the water gun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My man was awarded $76.1 million, bruh.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yep. What is it called? Tyco? Is it Tyco or something like that?
The company?
Tyco. Yeah, bruh. He got $76.1 million from stealing his idea. Yeah,
for a water
that's
gun.
who you need to call. See, a water gun specialist. Who took a water gun copycat serious? What lawyer took that serious?
But Marvin Gaye and them they beat. They got Pharrell and
they got
Robin
Pharrell
Thicke
caught up.
on one. And then now they getting Ed Sheeran on that Thinking Out Loud. They said that's Let's Get It On. They said, bro, what you doing? I'm like, yo. So I was asking myself, though, I'm like, man, what point is it like you inspired me? So, my stuff kind of sound like yours just based on the fact that I grew up, listening and this is the stuff I like. And at what point is copying?
Is it plagiarism?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, for real. Because people ask me that question all the time. It's just about, people copying E. Like, do y'all ever get? And I'm like, I guess I kind of looked at it like, the Fab Five. Like when they start wearing longer shorts, everybody start wearing longer shorts. But that's not them for them to be like, everybody copy. It's like, no, we set a trend. Like we that dope to where, like that's what we were trying to do. Like we set out to be sweet and tried to, be an inspiration. And so I guess I would be more offended if nobody was trying to copy, which means you whack. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like, but don't go too far with that. For all my speakers out there saying CJ said I will still sue. You know what I'm saying? Do not get it twisted. He don't see you, but I see you, and I will sue. All right, good question.
Hey, real quick, guys, I forgot to do this, man. We don't do it a lot. Shout out Lion of the Day, man. Shout out to University Foreign Auto Parts on Kalamazoo, right next door to the Cracked Chicken.
Oh no, that's not the real cracked chicken though. Don't tell them people.
You talking about MLK? That's the little brother.
Yeah. That's the bootleg.
MLK. But since you've been gone, there's a new king in town.
That's real.
I went back and tried.
That's real.
Nah.
Oh no, that's real.
Well, the word on the street
that ain't cracked chicken. That's like weed chicken. You know what I'm saying?
No. He been gone. He don't know that the Lakers ain't number one no more in basketball.
It's over.
He been gone. Golden State.
I went to KZoo, dog. The chicken quality was not the same as cracked chicken.
No, it's way cleaner.
They took over, bro. I'm telling you, the word on the street.
What do cleaner got to do with the taste? You know what I'm saying?
The taste is better. It's cleaner.
It's too clean.
Yeah, I promise you, see. Nobody in the city hit up MLK like they used to, bro. Everybody on
Every
Kalamazoo.
time I go, it's stupid packed. What are you talking about?
It is. That's because because there's still people like you coming from out of town.
So that's the plagiarism right there. They took whole swag.
Oh no, they did. There's no questions asked.
Serious.
That's
they literally copied the chicken, the menu, the seasoning, everything.
Yeah, they did, bro. And they taking over. I ain't ordered from MLK in 5 years.
Oh, it's years. Seriously, years.
Oh, years.
Yeah, you tripping.
Oh, I promise you, bro. Nobody. Michigan State, Murray going, everybody going there, bro.
because it's closer.
No,
dude, I'm telling you, there's a changing of the sheriff in town.
Bro, y'all know,
changed,
come on, man. Y'all, now you from Barbados and you from Chicago and Detroit. Don't tell me nothing about Lansing.
You telling the truth.
I got Lansing on lock.
You telling the truth, see? But you the dude that's saying Mike Tyson's still the champion and don't know Buck Douglas knocked him out.
No, but Mike's still the greatest though. You know what I'm saying? He may have got knocked out at one point, but Mike's still the greatest of all times.
Hey, and MLK getting knocked the Blake out of his
mouthpiece on the floor.
I'm just keeping it 100, bro. And you know all I know is
just because
MLK.
my taste buds are so partial. I promise you, I went to Kalamazoo because I've been hearing those rumors. So I said, okay, cool, let me go. I promise you. Ask my dad. I think
you felt like you was committing adultery when you went. You felt like you was committing adultery when you went. See?
Yeah, I did. And maybe that's it.
It was psychological.
I'm loyal, bro.
Yeah, you couldn't enjoy it. Yeah,
I stayed with you when you was broke.
That's why I said you couldn't enjoy it.
How you gonna dog me out for remaining faithful to crack chicken?
Yeah, no question. I'm not mad at you though. But I wanted to say this,
that's
y'all.
The attribute we love.
Okay, well you was shouting out some type of auto parts store. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had to give him the Lion a year, bro, and we just getting started. So we came home from Cali, and Jada's car was sitting, and she's like, Dad, it had low coolant. I was like, all right, no problem. We'll go grab some. We grabbed some, put it in there. Like, we put 2 of them jokers in there, and it just ran through it. And I was like, shoot, this the BMW. You know what I'm saying? I already got the engine rebuilt, fixed a couple years ago. This is they radiator, bro. They just got problems with this radiator after,
Which car was it?
The BMW.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
So I'm like, yep, the radiator, So I called Jamie, and he was like, yeah, bro, drive it to the crib, and I'll take a look at it. But, yeah, them radiators, I just spent $2-3 grand. Like, I had to just go ahead and junk the car. I was like, shoot. So we drove it to the crib. I noticed that it was saying it was overheating. So I was like, yo, pull over. Pulled over, picked that joint up. He was like, send it to University Foreign Auto Parts. I was like, cool. Because my guy that used to do it, he passed. So they was like, take it to them. So I took it to them. I go in, bro, of course. My man like $150 off the cuff for us just to look at it. I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. So he told me, he's like, what? He said, what's wrong with it? I told him, he's like, oh yeah, bro, I'm just gonna be real with you, BMW. It's like $2 grand, easy, sometimes 3, bro. And I'm like, bro, I ain't trying to spend $3,000. So it got so bad. See, the news was so bad that Didi was like, all right, what kind of car I want? Jada gonna get the Mercedes. She ain't about to get no new car. I'm gonna get the new car. And so I was like, all right, cool. So we went out of town, didn't think about it. I asked my man, I was like, yo, you said he's gonna be ready Monday. He's like, give me a call, give me about an hour or 2. Let me talk to my guys. I called my man back. He was like, yeah, bro, what happened was, I was like, oh, Lord. He was like, whoever put the radiator hose on it after they did whatever they did with it, they didn't put it back on properly, right? So he was like, they didn't put it back on right. So he's like, yo, we put that joint back on, and then we ran some tests, with the pressure, and then we ran some tests with the sealing, I guess that's what it was. And he was like, yo, bro, everything is good, bro. We put more oil in it. The gasket, the head gasket. He was like, yo, sometimes when it overheat the head gasket, he's like, wasn't nothing wrong with the head gasket. We put a little bit more oil because it was low on oil. He's like, you owe us $180. I was like, I dodged the bullet.
Wow.
And so I'm giving him, I called my man, I told my man, look, bro, I'm calling him back. I was like, look, bro, I just want to thank you for your integrity. That's like 100 between me and you could have easily told me the radiator was messed up. It cost $2,500, and you come pick that joke up when you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's wrong with it. You feel me? He said, bro, he was like, look, bro, I'm in the business of taking care of people and I operate in integrity, and that's what's wrong with the car industry. A lot of people don't have no respect for us and don't want to deal with us, and it makes my job hard because people are afraid that people are taking advantage of people. So he's like, I appreciate you calling me back and thanking me, for my integrity. So, bro, Matt, shout out to him. And then I've been going through the airport giving Matt, praise God for my wife, because I bought some thank you cards and gift certificates and was giving them to TSA. And my wife was like, you can't do that. And so, but I have been.
Oh, you can't do that because they ain't got no job right now anyway.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what I've been telling them. Thank you. So when I've been going through the line, like I've been stopping. Yesterday, I pulled 5 or 6 of them together in Florida. They all came around, was like, no, thank you for your videos. We watch your stuff. That keep us going. I'm like, thank you for working for free. Thank you. You know, you're not getting paid and you still coming to work. Y'all still looking out. And so shout out to, man, Lion of the Week. I know it's a lot of people unemployed, but TSA, I'm going, you know, literally in the airport on the reg and they still coming in. Those people could be taken off like everybody else. They could be crying sick, you know what I'm saying, if they're not really sick. And I just was telling them, man, thank you for showing up to work and protecting us, you know, despite the fact that right now something is going on in our country. And I will say this, I want to challenge the government that we should put in the bylaws that when we do a shutdown, the president or the Democrats, the senators, none of them, don't nobody, the House, Senate, don't nobody get paid when there's a shutdown. Because you know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to do a 50-day shutdown when you're not affected by it. So I would love to in the near future. I do understand that it is a strategy and we do have to do a shutdown. But y'all know me. We building a church. I'm like, yo, take my salary. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't on that. When, you know, in the business, like, yo, bless Didi for mine, bless my son for mine. Like, I don't play that. I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna ask you to make a sacrifice, and I'm not making one. So I would hope that our country would get to a place, you know, at one point where, like it used to be back in the day, when we went to war, the you know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all saw that picture of George Washington, but what's so unique about it is that George Washington is in the boat with, you know what I'm saying? He in the boat with the troops on his way to war. You feel what I'm saying? And where today's society, our leadership can lead sometimes from, you know, and it's no disrespect, but sometimes our leaders lead from an office and they don't lead from the battleground. And I would just love for us to get back to a place where, you know what I'm saying, we lead from the battleground. So much respect to all our people out there, U.S. citizens that are working on our behalf, that's not getting paid. Our prayers go with you and your family. I know it's a rough time in terms of maybe just eating the way you used to eat, or I don't know what's going on, but I'm just praying that as we go through these crucial times that you guys hold on. And I just believe we're a great country. We're going to get through this. And then you guys will get, hopefully they get back pay, you know, for this. And what do you call it? Furlough, whatever that is, like vacation and stuff. So yeah, man, shout out to all those folks out there that make this country great.
Yep, no, absolutely. All right, cool. Real quick, man, as we get ready to pull out here, because I got some work to do. I know y'all do too. Monday is MLK Day. And so, as always, man, E, I want to, you know, let you get the nugget of the day. Also, event Arizona, give them the, if you're in the Arizona area, in or around Arizona, we got an event coming up. What's the date, E? Help me out.
January 26th and 27th.
26th and 27th. So it was on
26, 27.
Yeah, come check it out, the 1% Club. And it's on our website, etinspires.com. Go check that out. If you are in Arizona, anywhere near it, come on through. Those of you coming to Jamaica, we'll see you soon.
Yes.
And as always, man, breatheuniversity.com. Come check us out, right? Join us. It's been, man, a fast start to 20. Can you believe, like, January?
Bro, we halfway there, bro. We halfway there.
So, yeah, man, get yourself involved and surrounded with some people doing big things, man. So breatheuniversity.com. We'd love for you to join us there. E, give us the MLK nugget of the day so we can get out of here, bro.
Hey, I want to say this, though, for real. For those of you who are considering coming to Jamaica, but you got a dad bod, don't let that, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't let that, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to have Ryan when I come.
Yeah.
Bro, please. You know, sometimes people don't come to church because they're not dressed right. You know what I'm saying? Do not let the gut, the beer belly, do not let that hinder you like me could swim in a t-shirt, a big t-shirt. So just bring your swim t-shirt and you're going to be fine, bro. So, no, man, giving honor, you know, to MLK, man, one of the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest leaders that ever lived. You know, he said, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And I'm asking that in 2019, you stand for something, guys. 2019, stand for something. Like, if this is the year, you know, to get your degree, don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for the, you know, you're not smart enough. You're not you don't have the money, this isn't a good time. Like, don't fall for that foolishness this year, right? Don't fall for the mental mind trick games. Don't fall for that. This is the year. Stand up and say, though the heavens fall. Stand up and say, though, I'm not where I want to be financially, though, I did, get separated from my spouse and we're going through it, or I was diagnosed with something. Like, don't let that stop you. Don't fall for anything. Don't let that stuff stop you from being successful. You won't be the only person that got that news, and you won't be the only person when you succeed that were able to overcome, insurmountable odds to do whatever you're doing. So do me a favor, stand. MLK, he stood for something. He made the sacrifice, right? He stood for something. And so I promise you, and what he stood for, we live in the dream right now because of MLK. Me, CJ Carr, we live in the American dream. And he said, I have a dream. You look at CJ's parents. We live in the dream, man, that race would not stop you from loving each other. We live in the dream. We've been blessed with CJ as a result of that. We live in the dream, y'all. Carl coming in from Barbados, living in we live in the dream, y'all. We live in the dream, y'all. Me, a high school dropout, kind of starting behind and then playing catch up and #1 motivational speaker in the world. We live in the dream, y'all. But for each one of us, we did not fall for all of the other things that people were told that made them quit. Like all the other stuff that people went through that made them quit. We went through what they went through, but we didn't let that stuff stop us. And we are legitimately, and we're not even finished yet. We're just getting started. We live in the American dream. So do me a favor, do not fall. Do not fall for anything this year. Stand for something and say to yourself, no matter what hits me, I'm going to finish this thing. No matter what news I get, I'm going to finish this thing. No matter what happens around me, when the race is finished, I'm going to be one of the ones across the finish line. A lot of folks starting 2019 with us. A lot of folks' dreams, goals, whatever. But stand for something so at the end of it all, you could finish that, you could break the ribbon and finish, get past that finish line. And with the rest of us, you could be standing there too saying, millions didn't make it, but I was one of the ones that did.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that nugget of the day. Everybody enjoy your MLK Day. Make sure you watch the I Have a Dream speech or your favorite MLK speech. Keep the dream alive, man. Love y'all, and we'll see you next week.
I want you to focus on here right now. Don't you worry about when you get home. You concentrate on this opportunity. You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this opportunity with all your might, with all your soul.
I need you to, this is the final one, I need you to be driven. I need to be driven. Because somebody said they were bored, and I'm feeling you. You're bored, I'm feeling you. I got a 3.5 after I got kicked out of college when I came back 3 years later. And people say, how did you get a 3.5? I got a 3.5 when I came back to college after getting kicked out because I had my first child. And when I came back to school, I wasn't going to school for school. I was going to school for my boy. My granddaddy was a high school dropout, my daddy, and I was a high school dropout. And I figured if I at least graduated from college, that he would have to graduate from high school. I would be an example. So when I came back with a vengeance. I was driven by a purpose. I'm telling you, you'll never be what you're supposed to be. You'll never have what you're supposed to have. You'll never ball out until you got a purpose for why you do what you do. The people who blew up, they blew up because there was something that was going wrong in their life, and they took that pain and they turned that pain into something. You will never, ever go to class, and you guys are spoiled. Do you know what it's like to go to class in Michigan in December? It's 10 inches of snow and they don't close the school, and it's minus 10 degrees and you still got to go up and go to class? How do you go to class when it's 10 degrees and 12 inches of snow? You know how you do it? Because you know your mama broke and she working 2 jobs and taking on a loan for you to go to school. I laugh at kids whose parents are broke and they up there partying like everybody else. Your mama broke. You went to school, listen to me, some kids when they go to school, they just going to school to keep the legacy alive. Their mama already got money. Some of us, we taking out loans to help we taking out loans and sending it home so people could pay rent. That money ain't even going to college. And we still going to parties. We still clubbing. Listen to me, nothing against fraternities, but I've had students. One dude had a 3.2 GPA and got in a fraternity his freshman year, and it went down to like a 1-something. I'm saying, what kind of brotherhood is that? When you got my man up at 2 o'clock in the morning, washing your car and going to get you groceries when you should be helping this kid to study. Now he can't get into college of business, but he got Greek letters. He didn't come to school to get Greek letters. That's a bonus. He came to school to get a degree, because if you walk out of here without a degree, you came up short. So you gotta be driven. I'm driven, y'all. I get up every Monday and do TGIM. I drive home, get back to the airport, hour and a half drive, back and forth almost every single day, because I'm driven. I want my son to have a better life than I had. I don't want my son begging like I had to beg. I don't want my son to ever think he got to sell dope or he got to steal from the mall. I'm driven. I want my daughter to know what it's like to have. I'm driven. I'm driven. When I was at the Michael Jordan Classic the other day and I opened up that whole conference, people like, E, you speaking at the Michael Jordan Classic. How do you feel, bro? You made it. I said, I'm hungrier than I've ever been before. Now I want to speak to the Pistons, the Knicks, the Boston Celtics. I'm driven now. I'm hungrier than I've ever been before. Why? Because I tasted it now. I tasted it. I messed up. In my book bag, I got the first check I ever got from Nike. I used to buy Nikes. Now I got a check with my name on it. I ain't even put it in the bank because I want you to see it. I'm driven. When I got that first check from Nike, I was like, ooh, I'm on the payroll. That means I can get another check. And the next check I got was double that check. I'm driven. What drives you? Because you ain't going to go to class just to go to class to hear somebody teach. You got to go to class with a purpose and say, I don't care if he's boring or not. I got to get through him, and I got to get through that class, and I got to get through that boring stuff so I can get to where I'm trying to get to. If it takes a boring biology class, then I'm taking biology. If I got to go through calculus to make my family get to a level they've never been through, calculus, watch your back. Because your boy is coming. PhD is hard, bro, but I'm about to finish up. I got one little part left. I'm about to finish up. Why? Because I want it as bad as I want to breathe. You got to be driven. What are you driven by? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a PhD at 26, and he was willing to give his life. Why? Because he cared more about the freedom of women and the freedom of minorities than he cared about anything else. Listen to me, he had a PhD at 26. He had a job. He didn't have to get involved in the struggle, but he was willing to make that sacrifice. And he said it. He said it in his speech. Longevity
has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will.